going on, everybody? Brian and Wes here. We're back at it again on our Trading Post Podcast.
No. Pawncast.
The Pawncast.
Oh boy.
Man, already screwing it up. Today we're talking something a little bit closer to home. Doing some just basics. What does the pawn process look like? How does that work?
You know what? Before we get into that, I want to do some house cleaning. Last
yeah,
time we talked a little bit about some of my entrepreneurial experiences.
Yes.
I had a couple people suggest that maybe I was fabricating my first engineering, manufacturing business that I had. Well, I'm going to put it in today's lingo because back then they didn't have all the fancy things. I whipped out my CAD cam and drew up a self-defense weapon. Okay. Then I built a pair with my new manufacturing plant out in the garage, hand crank, bench vise. And then I done some, what do they call it when you're testing it? Product testing.
Quality assurance.
Quality assurance. What I was making, wooden knuckles out of native lumber. These things will break a brick. I might have taken a pair of these for product testing to school when I was 6th grade and whopped one of the big 6'5" seniors because he was picking on me. So yes, they do really work. The problem is, there was actually two problems. First problem is he picked me up by the neck, put me on the wall, my feet were doing the whole bobble thing. The second problem is the school got wind of it and decided that probably was not a good idea. So for anybody that thinks I really didn't make any, I'm not going to say how old these are because I'm telling my age. But those are from the 6th grade. And somewhere we even got the pattern that I made, drew on paper to make them out of.
You have
find it?
The blueprints.
That's right. I got the CAD CAM blueprints. So
was that made out of poplar?
This is hard. This is called native lumber. I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you, you can't drive a nail in that stuff. I actually made a go-kart frame out of that wood one time. Pretty cool stuff. But anyway, so for those couple people, there you go.
Wow.
I feel better now.
Now you've been validated.
Thank you. My first engineering, manufacturing, and they pulled the plug on my funding. That was it.
I never doubted you, boss.
Well,
I believed you.
I guarantee you the guy I hit with him still remembers, and I wasn't very big, but they hurt. So.
Well, with that clarified.
Now, what was we talking about?
Yes. We're talking about if you're a first-time customer, first-time person needing a pawn.
So you want to talk about maybe why they might be coming in here to start with?
Yeah. What is different from us than any other lending place?
Well, let's start by talking about the need.
Okay.
I've always heard that probably 3 to 5% of America does not even have a bank account. And you can Google it. If an emergency comes up, 40 to 50% of American people do not have $500 in the bank.
Yeah.
And if a $1,000 expense comes up, that percentage jumps from 50, I see anywhere to 69%.
Yep.
I mean, we see it every day. So part of the reason you might need a pawn shop is your car breaks down. The kids need something for school. There's an endless list.
Yeah. And a lot of times it comes down to that dollar amount.
Right.
You can't really walk into a bank and get a $50 loan.
Yeah.
If you need just something to get you till Friday, you need a tank of gas or something, you just need $50.
Yeah, the object is just to get what you need to bridge the gap for whatever the emergency is that week.
It's more meant for like a short term.
Yep, short term. Basically what we do are short term collateralized loans. So basically anything of value that you can bring in, no credit checks, no nonsense. We look at your item, determine what we can loan you. We do have to keep the item in the store regardless of what it is.
Yep. That's mandated.
And we loan according,
Yep. And it's not that we keep it out on the shelf for sale. This is in the back.
In the back.
You know.
Absolutely.
So let's say you're coming in for the first time and you're like, man, today's Wednesday and I just need a tank of gas to get me till Friday. Friday's payday. And let's say you look down there and you say, hey, I got this chainsaw that I'm not using. Easily worth $50. What do you need?
First thing you need to know when you come in, we're not trying to play games when we ask you what you need. Because the first thing we're going to say is, what do you got for us today and how much do you need? You kind of need to have an idea of what you need before you come in here. Either I don't know or all I can get is not a good answer. Yeah. We don't know how to help you if we don't know how much you're trying to come up with. And I've had customers say, well, I know you can't get me where I need to be. And that's okay, but tell us that so we can kind of get you as close as we can and push the envelope. That definitely helps us. It's not a gotcha game. We don't want to loan you more than you need, just because your item's worth more. We want to make it easy on you to get your item back.
Right, because the lower the amount of the loan is the lower amount of interest you have to pay back.
Yeah, absolutely. And it will add up if it sets for some time. So the idea of a pawn shop, short term, small amount, then I'll just tell everybody my average loan in here is $100. Doesn't mean they're all 100. I do $5 loans. I do $4,000 and $5,000 loans. Obviously, the larger amount, faster eat you up. But on average, we do a $100 loan, which gets most people through what they need.
Yeah. So one of the things that you have to have when you come in, you have to have an ID.
Valid ID, state issued, photo ID.
It has to be valid. It cannot be expired.
That's correct.
So you definitely have to have that when you come in. And other than that, you just need the item.
Yeah, we don't do credit checks like the bank. We don't have hidden fees. One thing we do want to talk about, I've had a lot of people say we do charge 23%. And in our area, that's the standard. Some states are different. Some states only allow 3%, but they can do you a storage charge. In our area, we charge 23%, which is in line with all the other shops. But here's what I can tell you. That sounds like a lot of money. And unless that item's in here for 6 or 8 months, it's really not. If you come in and you want a loan, say $40, $50, I don't make you money. I actually lose money. Because time I factor, I have to pay someone to stay in here and figure out your loan, what you want to do. Even if it's been in before, it's a 10-minute process. But if you're new, the item's new, we've got to determine values. It can take 20 or 30, 40 minutes to get you in and out. And then I got to have storage. I've got to pay state mandated insurance on your item, twice the amount of pawned. And then I got to pay my people to stand here when you come in to redeem your item. So there's a lot involved. And in today's wages, nobody works for $8 an hour anymore. So based on the salaries that I'm paying and all the factors, the insurance, the storage, I have a 12,000 square foot warehouse. We have this building that's 8 or 10,000. We've got another 2,000 or 3,000 square foot warehouse. We've got fenced parking that we store things in. So there's a lot of factors there on that interest rate. Yes, it sounds like a lot, but if you use a pawn shop the way they're designed, get your stuff in and get it out a month, 6 weeks, it's not expensive. But it's like a credit card. If you don't use it properly, it eats you up. And how that works in our industry, it's kind of like credit card. You just make the minimums. You don't ever get ahead. It's the same at the pawn shop. If you just make the minimum payment, you'll never get your item out. And that's when Brian actually does make some money. If that $50 loan's here for a year and a half, yes, I make money on it. Unless that happens, I really don't make any money on the smaller dollar amounts, especially the $10 and $20 loans. Definitely lose money on those.
Yeah, because if you do a $10 loan and the customer comes back within the first 30 days, our interest charge is...
What's the math on that?
It's $2.30.
There you go.
So by the time you pay an employee, every item has to be labeled. That way we know whose it is.
Wrapped up, put together, labeled.
Even having boxes just to put stuff in.
Yep.
Yeah, if you do, $10, $15, $20 loan, we're losing money if the person comes back in the first month.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just part of the job, though. It's part of the service that we offer because there are a lot of people that need $10, $15, $20 loans.
Yeah, we don't mind doing that. It's a numbers game. It's volume. Not everybody gets their stuff out in the first month, And then the other thing, too, is we hold things for a total of 90 days. Everything's 30-day cycles. If you let your loan go for 90 days and then come in here, you're backed up 3 months on what you owe, and it makes it really difficult to get out. I try to really, especially on anything that's more money, I really try to stress to people, even if you can't get your item out, you need to come in and make a monthly installment, even if it isn't a full payment, something to help you from getting so far behind. And on the higher dollar loan, man, it is devastating if you don't do that.
Yeah.
You never get caught up.
Yeah. It's on a high dollar loan, it needs to be for a very specific purpose. You need to kind of have a game plan on what's my plan to get this back.
Mm-hmm.
Auto pawn would be a good example of that.
Yeah, we do a lot of cars. We do motorcycles, lawn mowers. We've got a lot of zero turns. Occasionally I'll do a boat. Not my favorite. I try to stay away from them. You can't test them.
Yep.
And those are all more money. But there again, it's not based on the value of the car. Most of the cars are worth way more than all loan. And I will say on the higher dollar loans, $1,000, $1,500, we will do a lower interest rate depending on the item and the amount loaned to help you not get so far behind. We done $1,000 ring today and I done 15% on it. We have a couple different tiers, and that kind of hits my first tier. So there again, so for $1,000, it costs $150 for 30 days. It's not terrible. Mm-hmm. But if that ring sets in here for 4 or 5 months, then it becomes expensive, and Brian actually makes some money. And it happens because life happens.
Yeah.
You know, so that's, everybody has a plan, and I found out in life most of the time it doesn't work the way we planned it. So one other thing too, speaking of auto pawn, I've had some people figure out, and this is cool, I'm good with it. We have a 12,000 square foot inside facility that we store things in.
Fully secured.
It's secured, insured, out of the weather. And I've had people bring their motorcycles and old cars in and do a $200 or $300 loan, just knowing I'm going to keep them inside for the winter and keep insurance on them.
It's a cheaper storage facility.
Yeah, it's cheaper than the storage. It's not sitting outside. I don't want to put that out there for everybody to do, but you know, we do that.
We do that, yeah.
Quite a bit.
Auto pawn's a good example. What do you have to have for an auto pawn?
Good question. You need your valid ID. You're going to need your title, because that's one thing I guess I haven't mentioned on. Anything we pawn, I have to take possession of.
Yep. And when you say take possession, we keep it here.
We keep it here. I keep it locked up in storage. Nobody messes with it. It's got insurance on it. But your car, you need to have whoever's name's on that title, and the title needs to be perfected. In other words, your name needs to be on the front of the title. Not, I just bought it, my name's on the back. Yep. So if it's you and your wife both need to be here with your IDs. We have paperwork. It doesn't take that long. There's a little bit more paperwork involved, but we keep the title, we keep the car locked up till such time you come back and get them. I know the first few years before Cash for Clunkers hit, we were doing 100, 150 cars every winter we had locked up, which was pretty crazy. But since Cash for Clunkers, we don't have that many.
The other thing on a car, you cannot have a lien on the title.
Good point. Yeah, definitely need to mention that. And some people ask, well, what about a title loan? Title loans are illegal in the state of Indiana. This comes straight from one of the guys at the state. If you do a title loan out of state, you have no legal recourse. Basically, if you're in an area of the state border or a bleed over, like a radio station where they're advertising, is one thing. But if a title loan company, say in Ohio, is actively advertising in Grant County and you go do a title loan, according to the state, if you don't pay them, there's nothing they can do about it because they're not supposed to be doing business here. They called it bleed over, like in advertising. You went over there and done it. That might be different. He did say nobody's tried that in court, but that is how the law reads. Yeah. So you cannot do it. I know that's big in a lot of states.
Yeah.
You know, drive your car, sign the title. I'm not interested in chasing anybody's cars. Yeah. One thing I know, if you got a pawn in here, I know where your stuff's at. That's a big point right there.
That's an auto pawn. Let's go back to the chainsaw example. Let's say a guy, instead of needing $50 today, he needs maybe $100 or $150. And it's kind of like pushing the limit of what we might value that item at. How can he maximize the loan amount that we would do on his item?
Well, there's several things. The first thing I would say is, even though we don't check credit scores, your loan ratio in here on what you pawn and pick up, to us is a credit score. I'll loan on a 5-gallon bucket of dog biscuits if you've picked everything up you've ever brought in here, because I'm not worried about you leaving it with me. But if you take your chainsaw, there's several things. Number one, anything that comes in here needs to operate correctly. Don't bring it in out of fuel. Don't bring it with oil dripping off of it. Wipe it off a little bit. Make sure it starts, because we're going to make you go out and start it. If you bring battery-powered tools in, we talked about this in our tool video, take a minute and clean them up. The more beat up they look, the less value they have to us. Make sure the batteries are charged so we can try them. All little things to help you. You know, if you pull your TV off the wall, it needs to have the feet, needs to have the remote, because you can't store them with no feet on them. Take a minute and wipe the 3 inches of dust off and the sludge from your chicken nuggets that's on there.
So what they can do to help increase the value is have everything that's there. Have all the accessories.
Make sure you get all the components.
Yep.
Had a prime example this week, high dollar game system, missing several pieces. And then they were upset that we wouldn't do more than we were doing. When you start telling them, well, that part's 100, that part's 40, the cords are $10. It all adds up, and it all needs to be there. So
all the accessories, all the components, even like some electronics, if you have the original boxes, that helps the value too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't mean we won't take them without all the components. It just means it's going to get docked. You know, you bring a smart TV in here, I'm going to dock you $25 if you don't have the remote. And I probably won't take it without the feet, because I can't guarantee there won't be any damage, because it won't stand up with no feet.
Right.
A lot of factors, but the main takeaways, when you come in, man, we're here to help. We're not here to play games. Know what you need. or have an idea, even if you don't think we can get you there, make sure your items are all functioning, all the stuff's there. If you got time, wipe them up a little bit. It'll help you get a little bit more money.
Make sure that you've actually tested it first. We'll hear a lot of, hey, I'm moving, I'm cleaning out my storage, and this is in my storage, which is totally fine. We'll take the stuff from storage units.
But the one thing differentiates us, I have a friend that has a pawn shop. He takes anything. This place looks like a garage sale. I don't want my place to look like a garage sale. So we try to get nicer stuff. We try to make our place a little nicer, not to look like a garage sale. I've had people say, when I tell them that it's not something I'd be interested in, well, I couldn't sell it at my garage sale either. Probably I don't want it either. If you can't sell it at your garage sale for 50 cents, probably I'm not going to take it.
That's a good point, because we'll have people bring their leftover garage sale stuff
with stickers still on them. Yeah.
It's like we're going to have to pay an employee to pull all those off. Definitely pull those off before you bring them in.
And I will say too, we will pay decent money, strong money, for nice stuff. I like to have nice name brand complete sets. And I might caveat, we talked about in our other video, but if you got brand new stuff, bring your receipt with you. I mean, it's not that we're calling anybody liars, but the state looks at some of that, especially if you're bringing a lot of new stuff in. Definitely bring a receipt in. Just put everybody at ease and covers everybody that way.
Yes, absolutely. Part of that too, with that storage unit, we'll have a lot of people bring it in. And it's like, did we even fire it up? Well, it was good when I put it in there 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And we'll go to plug it in, and it's like, oh man, this thing doesn't even power on, or it's gotten humidity damage and it's rusted when you go to plug it in. It's like, ooh, that's not good.
And we don't mind. We're here to help. We do a lot of that. It helps us. If you've kind of pre-tested, at least pulled the stuff out of the tote to see that there's an inch of water in the bottom before you can get it in here. Yeah. We don't mind trying to test your things or going through a big box of jewelry and see what's in it. Sometimes that's kind of fun, but it all takes time. It all costs money, and all affects what we can do on a loan.
And I do want to bring up too, because one thing that we hear a lot is, well, I just want whatever's fair. Fair is it's a relative term.
Absolutely.
When someone says what's fair, we're going to look up, what does this item sell for new? What does this item sell for used? What type of labor do we have to put in? Do we have to clean it? Do we have to get accessories or parts, missing cords? All those things play a factor.
Is it something we can sell in the store, or is it something that has to go, say, on our eBay store or on, Craigslist, or something? That all costs extra?
Absolutely. There's fees involved with that.
A lot of fees and a lot of labor of listing it and shipping it.
It really goes back to Brian's point of know what number you really needed to have. If you bring in an item knowing you need $50, but you tell me, well, whatever's fair. We have to factor in all those other things. It's so much easier if you come in and just be honest and say, this is what I'm trying to get to today.
Yeah, I had a guy one time, I don't remember what he had. It was something I normally wouldn't take. I said, I'm going to do that loan for you just because he was honest about it. It's not real relevant why you need it. And the less we loan you, the easier it is to get it out too. That's the other side of the equation. Absolutely. And we're not trying to bury anybody as far as getting them in so deep they can't get their item back. But at the same token, we don't want to loan way more than something's worth and knowing you won't come back for it. Right. I had a gentleman on a rifle, wanted a certain dollar amount, and I said, man, you can buy a new one for that. He said, I promise you, I will not leave you that, yada, yada, yada. He waits 3 months, comes in, and he says, well, I ain't paying that. I can buy a new one for that. I said, I told you that when you done it. So there's a lot more to it than people realize.
Also, too, we factor in, if we have to hold it for 90 days before we can sell it, what is the value of the item going to do over 90 days? Brand new cell phones are a prime example.
TV. Holy cow. TVs are dirt cheap.
Certain video games, like sports games that come out every year, they come out and they're hot, man. Like they're worth $50, $60. But you give it 3 months, 6 months down the road, and it's nearing the end of the season and the new game's going to come out, you can't hardly give those things away. They'll drop down to $5 and $10 games.
That's a fact.
We even have some 2017, 2018. Man, we got those in our $1.99 bin.
Mm-hmm. We still have them in our bin.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors, and we do look at that. What will this item do? Will it appreciate or depreciate over the next 90 days?
The other thing, too, we have to factor is if you don't come back, I've got 90 days of service charges in something. So that's what I got in your item when it drops out. It isn't just the amount that I loaned you. It's all the service charges, my labor. It all adds in there.
It does.
So I don't know if that helped anybody. That's a topic that we could ramble on for hours on, but maybe to give you a little better idea of what we do and how we do it.
We might do another video one of these days where we really get into the weeds, really dive into some stuff.
We need a whiteboard to actually put figures down because you can't explain to someone in video or over the phone because the service charges are different than the bank. And I'm not going to get into that right now, but it's hard to explain that over the phone without actually writing it out for people. So, but if you do a loan, rest assured, we're going to lay your loan paper out and we're going to walk you through exactly what everything means, how it works, ask you if you got any questions, and make sure you understand what you're doing before you leave my shop. I've had people that do multiple loans and then say one of them got away from them as far as not paying for a while. Well, I didn't know it worked like that. Well, you've done 5 loans, you should know. Make sure you understand. If there's any questions, it's best not to call on the phone because it's near impossible over the phone to explain to someone how the finances work and how the numbers come out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Every loan that we do, we give out a printout. We call it the pawn ticket.
Yep.
And on that pawn ticket, it just lays out the terms. This is how much we've loaned. This is what the monthly charge is. Here's the price if you come back in the first month. Here's what we call the default date. You make no payments.
Which would be 90 days out.
Which would be 90 days out.
Unless you make a payment.
Correct. So it's best to hang on to those tickets. And if you ever get confused and you're like, I don't remember, or when did I do that, or how much was that? Bring that ticket in. We can walk you right through that ticket. It answers a lot of people's questions.
Yep. Even the tickets, it's written by attorneys.
It wasn't written by us.
It's not. I mean, you definitely can understand it, but you might still have some questions. But if you do call on the phone, have your ticket out so that you're looking at the same thing we're looking at, so we can help walk it through.
Absolutely.
What else you got going on?
Well, I think that covers that pretty good. We have what we've been doing, the Ask the Owner. So we got some questions.
Did you let me read them?
I did not.
That's sketchy at best.
That's how much trust we have in you. We got 3 questions today.
3? What's my time limit? 5 seconds or less?
No, it's not what they call it. Fast money on Family Feud. That's not that. You got all the time in the world, boss.
Okay. One thing I might mention, stay to the end because we didn't get a lot of questions for Ask the Owner, but we got this pretty cool $50 battery Nebo set, rechargeable light, got one of the wallets where they can't steal your RFID.
Yep.
We're going to put all the questions in a bucket, and this will be our giveaway this go around. Nebo's a company we won't be using anymore. We might cover that the next time, but they do have a good product. That's not why we're not going to be buying from them anymore, but they do have really good lights. I keep one beside my bed at home. They're pretty amazing. So that'll be our next giveaway.
Yep.
So make sure you leave some kind of stupid question. If I don't know it, I'll make him answer it.
Across any of our platforms.
Yeah.
Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, X. So
what's your question?
So this first question that we got today, what is not worth buying or loaning on today that we once were?
Wow, that'll take some thinking. DVDs.
Everything's gone to streaming.
That's right.
That's true. We still do Blu-rays from time to time.
Hardly. We used to sell, I want to think, 15,000, 18,000 DVDs a year when we first opened the first several years. Used to have stacks of DVD players. I think we have one out there on the floor, and I threw all the DVDs in the dumpster.
In fact, at one point, our little shed out back, wasn't it full of DVDs?
It had a lot, yeah. Boxes and boxes, yeah.
Diamonds. The diamond market has drastically changed.
Yeah,
drastically different from what it once was.
That'd be a good something to get into on another. Yeah, that's a tough one with the lab grown.
The lab growns has really hurt the value of natural stones.
I would say 40 to 50%.
Easy. Here's number 2.
Okay.
Do you do more sales on eBay or in person in store? And I guess we could change that. When a person asked eBay, let's just say online sales.
Did you tell them we have an eBay store?
We do have an eBay store.
We sell a lot on eBay.
We also have a website that's through WooCommerce that we do have.
And we apologize. Only a fraction of our merchandise is on there. It's something we keep working on, but it's still not the best. But if you don't see it on the website or on our eBay store, just call the shop. It's something we're trying to rectify, but there again, it's manpower and time. Yeah. A lot of stuff we sell before we even get it off the counter, but definitely we sell more in the store.
If you live 30 minutes away, 40 minutes away, you want to kind of peruse our inventory, you can look on eBay. On our website, we have our guns posted.
A fraction of them.
A fraction so that you can at least see.
Pew-pews. We put our pew-pews online.
Self-defense items.
There you go.
We do have our self-defense items posted on our website.
We don't have our tasers and our pepper spray's not on there, but we do carry them. Bear spray, batons.
Those are on our website that you can at least get a rough idea of what we might have in store. Do we sell more online or do we sell more in store?
Way more in the store.
Way more in
We
store.
do sell quite a bit through the online, but it doesn't compare to in store.
Which is pretty impressive given the size of our county.
Yeah, we have people come from all over, multiple counties, multiple states. I've sold items, probably 25 states out of the, how many Biden say we had? 51? The lower 48.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, we shipped an item to Alaska, so I guess it wouldn't just be the lower 48.
We do a lot of online sales, but still the majority would be in-house.
I agree.
Local. So that's a good question. The last question here. As of today, what inventory do you need more of? What is it that walks in the store and Brian goes?
Well, I can tell you it's not circular saws or sawzalls, as you can see.
Or Craftsman drills.
Or Craftsman drills. I'm a car guy. I like nice, clean tool sets. I'm talking hand tools, socket sets, but they need to be name brand, complete sets, cleaned up. You know, it doesn't have to be Snap-on or Mac or Matco, although we do sell a lot of those. I don't care if it's a Pittsburgh set, as long as it's complete and it's clean. I mean, it's going to be priced according, but we sell a lot of complete sets. Loose buckets of tools are about worthless.
Yeah.
I can't pay the manpower it takes. Back when we first opened, I would take time and make sockets, make bridge sets, socket sets. Don't have the time for it, cost me money. So that was long before Harbor Freight come to town and sold for what it'd take me to put a set together.
Harbor Freight, when they came to town, really changed.
Changed the tool game, absolutely it did.
Places, they've all kind of adopted their value brand, and it competes with Harbor Freight, and it really that has changed how tools go.
Yeah, and FYI, if you do need a tool, buying it at the parts store is not the place to buy it.
No.
You're not going to get the deal there.
What else are we looking for when he comes in?
Well, there's no shortage of TVs.
No, currently we are not seeking TVs.
We like knives, but they got to be American made, some German, some Japanese, no China, no Pakistan. I can buy them for nothing all day.
Tell you one thing that we have zero of right now is gaming desktops. Going into the Christmas season, we probably had somewhere around a dozen, and we are currently sitting at zero.
Yeah. There again, there's a lot of factors involved in one of those too. Absolutely. It's all about the internals, so that's an animal all by itself.
You know, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, you didn't have this huge AI data center craze. You could buy computer components very cheap. You could buy a set of RAM for $100, $150. Those same kits of RAM today are now going for $300 to $350, which has really caused a demand for older desktops and second-hand desktops. So that completely wiped us out. If you had an old desktop sitting around, a gaming desktop you want us to take a look at, we'd be willing to take a look at that.
Okay. If we rambled way too long, none of it made any sense, but make sure you leave us a question so we can give our nice Nebo setup here to somebody. Absolutely. And we do appreciate everybody staying long to leave a question. So. And
if you're out of state, we'll ship it to you. Don't even worry about that. DM, send you a message so we can get your address. That way it's not out there publicly. Those are very good lights. So definitely leave a comment. We appreciate everyone who listens to us. Leave a comment to ask Brian. What is it that you're just burning to know that you're like, hey, I got to ask Brian this. And always you can come down and see Panda Bear. Got free suckers for everybody.
Yep. Sounds good. So thanks for watching, everybody.